Okay, so this is the meeting of the Board of Health of July 6th. And we have a quorum consisting of myself, Catherine Hilton, Wim Levine, and Garrett Simonson, at least so far. And we are going to clean up our act as far as the open meeting law and the requirements for remote meetings. Speaking of which, apparently the latest thing on remote meetings is that I think the Massachusetts Senate has voted to extend the emergency authorization or whatever it is for remote meetings until sometime in December of 2023. But the House hasn't yet voted on that. But it seems likely that they probably will. And it also seems likely, I was talking with Grace about this today, it also seems likely that even if we go back to in-person meetings, that hybrid meetings are probably going to become the rule. It's not required right now. We could legally have a face-to-face meeting, an in-person meeting. But Grace feels that there would be a lot of pushback from people who would feel that we're taking away access that has been granted over the last couple of years. So to that end, I have asked Becky to get us a laptop, because if I have a Board of Health laptop, I could host a meeting from Town Hall. That's the purpose of that big TV screen, if you've seen it down there. And apparently somebody can train us to do it, but Becky's working on the laptop, and I'm hoping that it can be considered a legitimate carry forward from last year's budget, so it wouldn't impact our budget at all. The town's computer guy, Hank, has already recommended a similar laptop for some other department, so we didn't have to pick it out or do any research, because that's already been done. So meanwhile, can I ask you guys to do me a favor? Doesn't have to be right now, but sometime in the next day, would you log on to the town website and click on any of the email addresses that are there under the different boards, and see if it gets, if you get a direct email connection? Because I have something weird going on with mine, and so did Liz Armstrong when she tried to send a message earlier, and it's fixed for Liz, but it's not fixed for me. And we're trying to figure out if it's like just something at my house, or if it's because what I get when I click an email address on the website, instead of having it come up with that blue envelope, I get Google Chrome comes up.
And so by that you mean if we go to the Board of Health website and click on the email address for the Board of Health,
yeah,
are we able to send an email to you?
Yeah. Does an email program come up, or is it Google Chrome? Because it's a big mystery that nobody has been able to solve. So
Hank is working on it.
No, Hank is not working on it. The web committee is working on it. Mainly Gail Fleischaker, and she consulted Gail Huntress. Oh, that's the wrong thing.
And I have just admitted Noreen P. as member of the board.
Noreen, hi.
Says her audio. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, she's still connecting.
I'm sorry, team. Sorry I'm late.
I'm just glad you're here.
Thank you.
I guess Arlene isn't coming tonight. I need my agenda. Be right with you. Here we go. All right, so let us turn to the agenda. Oh, first thing, Noreen, I was just telling Garrett and Wim that we need to clean up our act and take voice, roll call votes and everything, and be a little bit more formal in our meetings than we are accustomed to being. So the first thing is the minutes of the previous meeting. Has everybody had a chance to see them?
Yes.
Yes, would move to approve.
Okay.
Second,
All in favor? We need to do a roll call vote. So Noreen, I see you first.
yes.
Wim,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes,
and Catherine, yes. Okay, so the minutes are accepted. While we're doing formal things, we have a disposal works construction permit application from 56 West Pelham Road. And I'm happy to say that it's been reviewed, not by Charlie, but by Claudia. So
Oh,
Claudia
wow.
Claudia is getting online with that, and I'm really relieved to see that.
and glad to
So
know that she's doing better.
yes,
But good.
yeah, she seems to be working some. I think maybe not as vigorously as before, but she is doing things at least from home. So Claudia recommends that we issue this permit. The person getting the permit hired Bob Stover to do it weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe months and months and months ago. So he's eager to get it done. Do I hear a motion to issue this permit?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor? Wim,
Yes.
Garrett,
yes,
Noreen,
Yes.
and me, Kat, yes. Okay, so I will do that. I believe we have received all the fees. If we haven't, I will issue it as soon as I get the fee. I'll have to double check on that. Quickly, 56 West Pelham Road, that's Greg Steve's house. He has received the, let me look at these. A couple things. Here we go. He received an asbestos report, and
would you repeat the address? I think that you were stating the address of West Pelham for the other application.
they happen to have the same number. West Pelham Road is number 56.
Okay.
Wendell Road is also number 56.
Yep. Just to clarify it, you had said West Pelham, so.
Okay, yeah, West Pelham was the disposal works construction permit for John Aslan. 56 Wendell Road is Greg Steve's house. He sent us an asbestos report. Asbestos was not found. Lead was not found. Now, I asked Greg to explain to us what was standing between him and demolition. What's now standing between him and demolition, and it seems like more obstacles just keep coming on. They require that they have temporary electrical service and water available on site to manage the dust and stuff during the demo. But he has discovered that National Grid mistakenly disconnected the temporary service and meter from the site. I hope that he can get a meter back. As Wim just said, there aren't any meters. If he has to wait 40 weeks, that's going to be really bad. But that is the situation there. So let's vote on it. Can I have a motion to delay taking action on this condemnation?
For an indefinite period? Or do
For
we
another
wanna
month.
put
Let's say for another month.
A month.
Uh-huh. Are there, before we get to the motion, is there more discussion that needs to have more questions that you want answered, or?
Was his statement that National Grid had removed the meter from the property?
Yes, let me read you his exact words. I discovered 2 weeks ago that apparently National Grid had mistakenly disconnected the temporary service and meter from the site, which was not supposed to be part of the original notice of power disconnect from the structure. So apparently it was supposed to be disconnected from the structure, but it was supposed to still go to the site so that they could connect to the power grid. But apparently they removed temporary service and they removed the meter as well. Or it says they disconnected. Maybe the meter's there but not connected. We can hope.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they've physically removed the meter, but
Yeah. Right.
I don't have a problem with an extension, provided that he's pursuing it with National Grid. And
Yes, he says, I've been back on the phone with them repeatedly, which must be a real joy.
I can give them a few names there.
Yeah, I bet you can. Right. Okay, shall we vote to not take any further action on this condemnation for another month?
so moved.
Seconded.
Okay, in favor, Garrett,
Yes.
Noreen,
Yes.
Wim,
Yes.
and Kat, yes. As we were doing that, it was making me think of something and I can't think what it was. Oh, we have always been, since as long as I've been on the board, basically a consensus board. And even though we need to take these roll call votes so that we can be in compliance with the rules, I still hope that we will be at least 99 and 4400% of the time a consensus board. So my thought is that we'll have our discussions as usual. We'll come to an agreement. We'll make sure that everybody is behind it, and then we'll proceed to the vote. Does that seem appropriate to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. What else we got?
Pizza.
The pizza guy. Yeah, this pizza guy, his name is David Bourgeois, and he's at 1 Pelham Hill Road. And he has a food license and a pizza business somewhere, and I'm not sure where. But he's been, I don't know if you've seen this on Nextdoor, he's been advertising a sort of pizza party at his house on Sundays. He can make about 20 pizzas, and he is basically asking for a donation for them. And you can go there and get them, or you can sit around his backyard and sort of eat them with his family and any friends that you bring along or whatever. I had quite a bit of back and forth. Well, when I first found out about it, I asked Charlie and Claudia about it, and there's been quite a bit of back and forth about this. Does he have to get a license, or does he not? Is it too small? Does it fly under the radar? Charlie was saying the guy's got to get a permit and send him a cease and desist order and make him comply. Claudia was saying, oh, he's so small. It's such a small deal. Maybe it's not appropriate. Well, I sent her some of his postings from Nextdoor, and she said, okay, let's have a cease and desist order until he gets a permit, either a permanent or temporary food permit. She'll work that out. And so I said that I would bring it to the board to discuss tonight. So there it is. Questions?
Just Kat, I don't think we've issued a temporary permit for a while. I think we used to, maybe for the Lake Association. Do they have to do anything when they have a temporary permit? It does get, oh, like the little stand over at the beach
park,
used to get inspected once a year. Is that right? So there is an inspection?
Yeah, I think that there would be an inspection and they would pay a small fee. I think we charge something like $25 for that. The reason that it's been under your radar is that, well, we haven't been asked to do that much. And also Charlie and Claudia just take care of
Yeah, okay.
it, right?
All
So,
right.
I mean, it still exists. So
Okay.
the question for the board is, do we wish to authorize Claudia to write a cease and desist letter and work with the person to get a food permit?
And
Yes,
then-
do you need a motion to do that?
Well,
I
just
I
had
think so,
one-
but let's have, it sounds like Wim's got some questions.
One other
Okay.
question, does part of that mean that he has to get serve safe certification and a kitchen inspection and?
Well, he has served safe certification already because he does this for his business in another venue. And he doesn't do it in the kitchen. Well, it's an outdoor pizza oven. If you go on Nextdoor and search pizza, he'll come up. His name is David Bourgeois, and you can see the setup. I've also heard from the two people at the fire department that he's cooking with that pizza oven under a tent, or a sort of canopy, which is a no-no. And I asked Mark Foster to follow up on that and address it with him.
Because it's flammable.
Right.
All right.
So, at first we were thinking it was a very small operation, but 20 pizzas is a fairly good sized thing.
So I move that Claudia send him a cease and desist until such a time as he is able to obtain a permit.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. And well, all in favor? Noreen?
Yes.
Garrett?
Yes.
Wim?
Yes.
Kat? Yes. All right. I will tell Claudia. I told Claudia that I thought I was okay with that, but I wanted to check with the rest of the board. So I will tell her, and she can probably get it out immediately. So the COVID test kits. We have 270, is it? Something like that, COVID test kits. The expiration date on them has been extended. And I did a shift as election warden on the 28th. So I spent that time putting these stickers on the boxes. But the stickers don't just say a date. The stickers have a QR code. So they may be worthless for some people who can't figure out how to do that, like myself. But there it is. Grace is willing to distribute them from her office during her regular office hours. Becky has asked if we would give 50 of them to the town. She has, between town hall, the library, the highway department, and the fire station, she's got about 38 people that need to be tested once in a while, some of them fairly often. And she has pretty much run out of test kits that she got some free ones. I asked her if there was, what is it, ARPA money? Anyway, the COVID related money for that. And she said that they've already received more requests for that money than they have funding. So she really doesn't have it. So the question is, are we willing for 50 of these kits to be turned over for town use?
My question would be, is that enough, or should we give the town more? Because I think there are so many kits available. If anybody wants a kit, like I went online, they said, would you like 8, 16, or 32 kits?
Mm.
You know, it's like you could get unlimited kits if you're interested in getting them. So
Mhm.
if the town has a legitimate need for them in service of, you know, the public good, maybe we should reserve more of those 200 for the town.
I have a suggestion. Why don't we make a motion to ask Becky how many she thinks she might need, and then authorize Grace to distribute the remainder.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Well, Becky has asked for 50.
And
It seems to me that 50 wouldn't go very far if she's
Well, if
got
she has
38 people.
people, they wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. Presumably, some of those people have access to free kits, you know, from the post office and that stuff. When you were talking about 4, 8, or 16, are these kits to buy?
No, these were free. My daughter went on the, I assume, I didn't ask her for details. She called me. She was going to order them through, I thought the federal website. I don't know. Free kit.
Uh-huh. So it's the post office, the thing that comes from the post office, you think?
What I can do is after our meeting, I'll get in touch with her and I will text you the details.
Okay, well, look, I just went on the website for that. It says residential households in the US are now eligible for another order of free at-home tests. Each order now includes 8 rapid antigen COVID-19 tests, which would mean 4, let's see, it's 2 packages with 4 tests in each.
Is that per person or per household?
I think that's per household. Yeah. So, so given that, maybe we should offer more tests to the town because town hall and the fire station and stuff aren't households and they might not be eligible.
Yeah,
And
is it reasonable to ask them to use their personal supply if they went to the trouble of requesting these for town business?
there's sound that's making it hard to hear. I don't know where it's coming from.
Sounds from me?
I don't know. Nobody else's face came up, so it seems like it must be from you. I don't know, something rubbed on your microphone or something. Well, I have lots of tests at home, but I think I'm going to order these 8 tests and then I'll donate them to the town. But meanwhile,
I would second Noreen's motion, which was to offer Becky what it is that she thinks that she needs and have Grace distribute the rest.
okay. And okay, and that would be something that I would determine from Becky.
Yeah, I mean, if she's asking for 50, we'll allow her to have the 50, and
And if she thinks she really needs more, we could reserve more ones for her that I would do at my discretion. Okay.
And just another idea, Kat,
Yeah.
when you issue your report this week, we could remind people that there are more available on the federal site if they want it, because
Right.
even all of us weren't aware of that. So
Right.
let's do that.
although
Okay.
I just tried to order more and it said that I've reached my maximum.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, let's see what happens if I order more. This address has reached the current limit for test orders. Yeah, so I've reached the maximum too. So that's not an option.
Yeah, so Wim, I wonder if your daughter was finding it through a different source. So it would be interesting to know.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with her. Or the other thing is, I don't think we've reached our max in our household,
Mhm.
because we got 4 once.
I think you can get 4 a second time. So yeah, so I guess what they're talking about, the 8, that's like your total if you haven't ordered any before.
Yeah, she was talking about bigger numbers. I'll text her after this and see what she's talking about.
Okay. Okay. Does that change the way we would think about the tests that we have? Does that change how we would think about Noreen's motion, that we give Becky not only 50 but more if she feels the need for them, or do we want to back off on that?
I don't think it does for me.
Doesn't for me either, because there's no way for us to know how many households have reached their limit.
Or
Right.
that she'll need all 50.
Right.
So again, I think just to remind households that they're eligible to, get this amount, and how they do it, Kat, and then maybe they'll go to that source first and the town second.
Right. And if we can learn what would be another source, or what's the best way, if there aren't free ones available, if there are inexpensive ones available, and how to get them, if we could find that out, that would be helpful. And then we could put that out in our message.
Kat, in that vein, I've just been on the internet to Jen Hoffman in Greenfield. I can ask her if she knows of any source of inexpensive ones. I can make that call to her. And when do you usually do the announcement? Friday?
Yeah, Friday or Saturday, depending on when Arlene gets me the numbers.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Are we ready to vote on it?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Noreen?
Yes.
Wim?
Yes.
Garrett?
Yes.
And Kat? Yes. All right, so I will offer Becky 50 and more than 50 if she wants them. Oh, we have I had another thought about this. I've asked Becky if she will do a reverse 911 call, so that this offer will go out to a larger number of people. And so they're ready to go. If we could, should we start on say on Friday, right? So that Becky could do the reverse 911 on Thursday, and they could be available during Grace's office hours on Friday, and I could go and distribute them at town hall during the farmer's market on Saturday morning, and then back to Grace again on the Monday. Does that seem like a good time to start, or do we want to wait until next week? Any
Kat,
thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm thinking the sooner the better. We just had another big holiday weekend with lots of gatherings, and the incubation period, the short one, will be over about the time, about Friday maybe. So Friday or Saturday. So if they're available for at least a day or for certain by Monday, that might be good.
Okay. All right. I will write up a message for Becky to use on the 911, and we'll say that they will become available on Friday, and we'll give the times, right? And that there will be. So, shall we say 2 per household, 2 kits per household, which is 4 tests, and just first come first served until they're gone. I don't think they're going to last long.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we have to vote on that. Those are just details. That's all I put on the agenda. Noreen, you might have missed when I was talking about meetings. It looks like authorization for remote meetings is going to be extended for 1.5 years.
Oh, good.
And that even if we return to in-person meetings, we are being urged to and may be required to do hybrid meetings, which we could do from downstairs in town hall. It has something to do with that huge TV screen that's down there, but I don't know exactly what. So Becky is going to order a laptop for us that we can use for doing that. And right now, that's all I can think of that's extra. Do we have more things? Noreen, do you have anything to report on?
Yeah, just one follow-up. I did talk to Jen a couple of days ago, and I asked her what the status was of that public health grant that we applied for the Eastern Franklin County states. And she said it was looking good for us. She thought we were going to get it, but she had to update them with a little more information and a budget modification they had asked for. So she was hopeful we would hear something soon. She was in the process of getting that information together this week, and would hope we would hear soon.
So the way that grant finally got written, I know not everything that we asked for got into the proposal. What could we expect to see from that in terms of benefits to Shutesbury?
I can't remember. I think I know we definitely got a nurse. I think we got a social worker also.
Oh,
That's what I recall.
Yeah. So a piece of a nurse and a piece of a social worker. I think we asked for half a day a week of each, as I recall. So we need to start thinking about how we might use that person.
Yeah. As far as the social worker goes, we could probably talk to Kristen Burgess, our new police chief, because as far as I can tell, she is basically the town social worker. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Noreen, any further information on FERCOG and Tracy Rogers?
Yes, I got thanks, Garrett. I did get an email from Linda Dolvani, and they were not pleased with the applications that they received for Tracy's job, so they're going to continue to keep it open until they find candidates that think would be more appropriate for the position. And they have promoted, and I'm forgetting his name. They have promoted someone else who's been part of the program who's quite good
Mark?
into a new. No, it's not Mark. Mark is remaining in communications.
Not that guy, was it Nick?
No, Nick, they've
No.
moved to another section to use his
Oh.
skills more appropriately. I'm sorry,
Oh.
I'm kind of fumbling through.
Yeah.
And they have not filled the planner position yet and are not planning to fill the planner position until the consulting group issues their latest report, and they have finished all of those interviews. So we should be hearing soon what the next iteration of the report is. So we are, Mark is pretty much acting in the planner role, but he's also taking on several roles for the HMCC. So he's a busy guy right now. And again, we had asked to be part of the search committee for Tracy. So what we did get was this update. We didn't get invited to be on the search committee, I think because, anyway. Yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
But Linda is keeping us in the circle of communication, and we will continue to ask and to be part of that. So perhaps at least we will get email updates of what they're doing.
So what was the general reaction to the focus groups?
We haven't heard that yet. That's the report that we're waiting for, Kat. Those focus groups that we participated in.
Yeah,
I think they were a
I
couple
see.
weeks ago now. That we haven't gotten the
least,
report
yeah.
from that yet. Yeah, I don't think that's been presented to the FERCog council yet.
I see. Speaking of stumbling through things, I felt like I was completely unprepared for that.
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything similar, Garrett, or what's happening in your communities?
So at an HMCC level, they did a separate COVID-19 review. And then at a public health coalition level, there was another 5-stage review.
By an independent consultant?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we use that to generate after action reports, and then those fed up to the state.
So a very similar process, it sounds like. Yeah.
Are these various coalitions and councils, are they doing this voluntarily, or is this a requirement?
So in the way that DPH writes the deliverables, they in this past budget period, they presented coalitions with options. You could do
Right.
an after action review, or you could do an EDS drill. And most of the communities are doing EDS drills. We want our voice to be heard. So, so we did after action reviews.
Yeah, that's exactly the same with us, Kat.
What a weird choice.
Yeah.
And in the next budget period, the options are you can implement improvement planning items from your after action review, or you can do EDS drills. So what do you think people are going to choose?
Now that they've done the after action review, they're probably going to just go back to doing their drills.
Well, and
That's
the other
pretty
thing is,
funny.
my understanding is the rules got changed in terms of how the deliverables look this year too. So it's very different from last year. And and everybody's writing them in very general terms this year. And
it totally messes with my mind, because I'm a very concrete,
right.
This is the objective. These are the activities and tasks. And now they're saying, all right, well, let's take sort of a loosey-goosey approach, and you can come up with priority areas.
It's very strange in
Uh,
my view, having
Mhm.
been a participant in it for 10 years or so. They've gone from all this specificity to, like Garrett says, loosey goosey, and it's,
Oh dear. What's the rationale for that, do you suppose?
yeah.
I have no idea.
Different consultants.
Possibly.
No, we're just being told to, go with the flow, roll with the change is what we're hearing. And
Oh dear.
it'll all work out. It'll all wash out in the end. Okay.
Huh. Well, maybe the idea is just that things are changing and we shouldn't be too
Mm.
rigid
Yeah.
about things until we get a better picture of what the world is going to be like.
Yeah, I'd like that picture.
Yeah, we all would.
Can I ask a different subject? Has the Board of Health ever been involved in public information or a buyback program, either any kind of action on limiting guns?
No,
And nothing.
never. I don't even have any sense of how many guns might be in Shutesbury.
More than there are people, if it's like the rest of America.
Well, but it isn't like the rest of America on many counts, so I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm. Hard to know.
I imagine Kristen would have a sense of it.
Right, they must have, theoretically, they got their permits from the local police, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Recently, so I do work with the Cambridge Health Department, and they did a joint buyback program with their police department. And the majority of the guns they purchased were from people coming from New Hampshire.
Hmm.
And not within their jurisdiction.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
And what do you think that suggests? That there aren't that many guns in Cambridge, or the people in Cambridge wanted to keep them?
I think it was the incentive to, so it's like all of these gift cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a combination of that. The incentive plus maybe not as many guns or people willing to sell their guns.
Mm-hmm. So they were buying back guns from anybody, not just anybody in Cambridge. They were taking back whatever they could get. There was, I don't know if you know this guy who does, Andy Borowitz, who does satire in the New Yorker, and he does like the fake news. Did you see the one where they were working on a plan to send all of the assault weapons in the United States to Ukraine? It's not a bad idea, really. Anything else we should be talking about tonight?
No, I move we adjourn.
All right, I'm in favor of that. Everybody else? I don't think we have to formally vote on adjourning.
Yeah.
If nobody else has anything to say, let's pack it in.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good.
All right.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
yep, good to see you. Good night.
Good night.